You cheating and starting a minute early? You're muted, Coach.
All right. Happy Friday, all you people. Amazing people out there. Big waves to you. Good to see you. Good to see you. So I know what weekend it is, and I know there's going to be barbecue sauce and sweet tea going everywhere this weekend. Okay. So have a great Memorial weekend. Everybody's tuning in across Facebook. Everybody's tuning in. I got people that's text me this morning saying I'm en route. I'm headed to my families. We are so excited that you're going to get to spend the weekend with your loved ones and the people you care most about. And, but I do want to say before we kick this thing off about Memorial Day, because we have people on here that have been in the military, that have friends from the military, that have fought the good fight and protected our freedom and served this country and gave up their own life for us. And I look at Memorial Day and I'm just looking at it, and it's like a day on which those who died in active military service are remembered. Last Monday of every May. Used to be observed on May 30th. You know, I can think of a football player that I coached. I had the privilege of coaching, that gave his life in the war. He'll be celebrated this weekend, and he deserves to be celebrated. So thank you for all that have been in our military, but also that know people and families that have given the ultimate sacrifice. So we're thinking of you this weekend on this Memorial Day. So, and it kind of, Myra, goes with our word today, conviction. Because I'll tell you what, if you've served in the military, you've had to have conviction for what you're doing, because you're giving up yourself for others. And our word's conviction. And if you look at the definition, it's a firmly held belief or opinion. Now, there's actually two definitions. Obviously, you know, Brother Vince Green is an attorney, so we could go on that route of a conviction. But I went on this route, a firmly held belief or opinion. Winston Churchill said this: one man or woman with conviction will overwhelm 100 who only have an opinion. Opinions everybody have. There's kind of like a butt. Everybody's got a butt. Come on, that's the best I can give you this morning. Laugh a little bit. Everybody's got a butt. Everybody's got an opinion. But not everybody has conviction. I hope this morning you got conviction for something in your life. Maybe it's your spirituality. Maybe it's conviction for a relationship. Maybe it's conviction for your profession that you're in. You know God put you in the place you're at, and you're going to thrive and you're going to bless lives. Whatever it is, I hope you have conviction. Because, like Winston Churchill said, one man or woman with conviction can overwhelm 100 who only have opinions. And one of the things I think back on a lot that my mentor used to tell me, he said, you got to have conviction for what you're doing in this coaching profession, because it's tough. It'll eat you up. These parents will eat you up out there. He says, you got to have so much conviction. It's like your faith, son. He says, like somebody putting you in a jail cell with three big people that don't believe like you do in your spirituality. And you talk to them and you share with them and you tell them the story, and they're not going to believe you. And they're trying to sway you into theirs. They might not ever believe you, but your conviction will not ever allow you to waver and move into the way they think. And that's the best way I could put conviction is, and I'm going to show you this, and I'm going to move, okay, and turn it to Coach. I'm going to put this up here, and I want you to think about this with conviction this morning. Whatever is in your mind right now that you're going, man, I need to have conviction in this area. I want you to think about this picture. I want you to look at it. Conviction is at the bottom of this pyramid. But see, conviction is something that you got to work on your knowledge. You got to work on your belief. You got to get your belief right. You got to work on your vision for where you're going in your spirituality, in your relationships, maybe it's your profession. Like you got to become a student of the game so that your conviction is of the highest. Because when you got conviction, then you move up to the courage, the second tier, which is, I call it, courage is when you're willing, you're coachable to learn, and you're hungry. You're hungry to fight for it. It's worth fighting for. Maybe you got to go out and get self-development to gain courage. Maybe you got to get in accountability groups to gain courage, like the Coach's Corner. But then you step up into that third tier, that top triangle of confidence. You know, I remember being a young football coach. I had to gain conviction, and then I had to gain strength with courage. And then I got the confidence where I walked around with my chest out, my shoulders back, because I knew what I was doing. So what does confidence look like? That's where you start to take action. You're making the calls. You got the confidence to be open and honest and just share your feelings. You start to grow. You start to string little wins together. That's where confidence comes from, and that's where you step back and you really start changing things. So, Coach, that's where I went this morning. Conviction is a big word for me because I'm sure I got it. I need it in other areas of my life, but I've got it in some, and it's a strong thing to have. So I'll turn it to you.
Yes, absolutely, Coach. Very, very good. Thank you so much for sharing. And let me just piggyback what Coach Palmer said about with Memorial Day coming up. We've got some people on this in our family here at the Coach's Corner that just thank you. Kudos to you for your conviction, just like Coach talked about. So anyway, I'm going to jump into, and I'm going to be all over the place. I just love to be able to admit I'm going to be all over the place right off the bat. Brent didn't get my notes this morning. So when I don't do that, he probably knows I'm still working and I'm all over the place. So just hang with me. I think everybody on here is a leader that leads with conviction. So I'm going to talk a little bit about why the best leaders have conviction. Great leaders on this. And what a great leader we have in Coach Brent Palmer and Andrea. Unbelievable. Conviction in a leader is incredibly valuable, yet increasingly rare. Very rare. In its short supply, because our brains, I love this, our brains are wired to overreact to uncertainty with what? Fear. That's just in us. That's something we have to battle. You know, in business, and again, this is a lot of people on here have their own business. This could be in business. This could be it could be in anything, actually. Things change so quickly that there's a great deal of uncertainty about what's going to happen next month, let alone next year. I know in talking with Coach Palmer several times in his business, I know how he thinks. He can be thinking way out a year or two down the road because of his knowledge of what's going on in his business. But the uncertainty is there. It takes up a lot of our mental energy, and it makes us less effective when we can't utilize it in the right perspective. Leaders with conviction create an environment of certainty for everyone. When a leader is absolutely convinced that they've chosen the best course of action, everyone who follows them, guess what happens? And you've experienced this. We unconsciously absorb the belief of that leader and the emotional state that they're displaying. Leaders with conviction simply put us at ease. Leaders with conviction, I'm going to read this real quick. Leaders with conviction show us that the future is certain and that we're all headed in the right direction. Their certainty is neurologically shared by everyone. I mean, think about it. Find two people. Find somebody right now that you would consider a leader that leads with conviction. Think of somebody else that thinks they're a leader, but they don't. Who are you going to jump in there and follow? You're going to try to be a sponge and absorb off of that leader with conviction. A leader who can demonstrate conviction will be more successful, and so will every single person that works with them. Now I'm going to give you a few traits that you can, that are talk specifically about leaders with conviction. I'm going to be brief. Leaders with conviction are very strong, but they're not harsh. Most people, when they're in a group, will wait to see if a leader is strong before they decide to follow their lead. People need to see courage in their leader. People are far more likely to show strength themselves when that leader does. You can't force strength on people. It's something that you earn as a leader with conviction by demonstrating it over and over again, not just in good times, but specifically when there's adversity. Also, a really good leader with conviction trusts their gut. How many of us do that? Sometimes I've trusted my gut and it's backfired on me. But the majority of the time, if you think about it, your gut doesn't lie to you or mess you up much. Leaders with conviction will recognize and embrace the power of their gut. They're relentlessly positive. Don't have to spend a lot of time on this because y'all know a positive leader is easier to follow. They're confident. Coach talked about being confident in his career when he finally got to the point where he could stick his chest out and put his shoulders back. The thing that I admire about him and so many of you is that he's confident, but was never cocky. There's a big difference. You can be confident, but that cockiness, it's got to get out. Okay? Just remember that. Confident leaders are still and will always be humble. And here's the thing too, one of my favorite things to say when I saw this is a leader with conviction embraces what they can't control. One of my favorite things to say, and I don't even know where I heard this from, but when it gets tight and it gets tough, and you're a leadership position and the adversity strikes, don't go, oh no, and got away from it. Hey, you got to lean into it. You literally have to make yourself lean into it. Because you display to the people in your little group that you're not afraid to lead. The role models, they're not preachers. Enough said right there. They don't ever ask what if. Because when you ask what if, what happens? Well, that just throws fuel on the fire of stress and worry. And here's the whole thing. There's two last things that I think may be the most telling of all really effective leaders with conviction is a leader that leads with conviction will always take a bullet for their people. Even if they know they're wrong, they will take a bullet for their people. You got to be that way. Conviction assures people that their work matters. They know that if they focus all their energy and attention is with a specific direction, it will produce results. Coach, I thought that was a very telling word. I mean, I was all over the place, but some of the points that I actually stumbled upon were so valuable, I know, to me. And I hope that everyone on the call grabbed 2 or 3 points at least that can help you go out and be a leader with true conviction. So, man, I hope everybody has a great weekend. It's been a joy to be here the last couple of days. Look forward to seeing y'all again soon.
Coach, that was awesome. I know you said you were going to go like this, but this was a great lesson, and it just lined up on Memorial Day by chance, I think, unless Andrea wants to pop on and say, I mean, I know she's a genius, but this tied in really well. And I know I say this for all three of us. Myra's already said it, but you men and women of the military and people that's on this Coach's Corner that served, as we love you so much, and we thank you for your patriotic passion and what you did and what you've done. So thank you for that. Guys, have a great weekend. Enjoy time with the family. We love you guys.
Love y'all. See ya.
Thank you. Great
KK call.
message.
Awesome.
All right, enjoy it.